So please, put your hands together for the not head, hands together for the executive chef from the Chesterfield, Gareth Jones.
We're going to do stone bass, smoked eel and risotto in minced plus tomato.
And this is off the menu at the moment.
Yeah, exactly the same. Exactly the same. This dish today is going to be a little bit sloppier. And I know a lot of people found it. Just at the end, I just thought even for this dish, just a tiny little touch of cream at the end. So we're going to start with the risotto. So what we do, obviously risotto takes about 18 minutes to cook.
Right.
So what we do at the restaurant is exactly what I'm going to do now. Chop some shallots.
These are banana shallots?
Banana shallots.
Yeah.
We crush some garlic and we pick some thyme. We sweat that off, which I'll do in a second. An important thing to do with risotto is to put your rice in and then you cook. Then you sweat the rice until it becomes opaque, so it's almost see-through, and then you start adding your stock.
And that's when you can see that it's right.
Yeah.
Opaque point, it's gone for the almost translucent. Yeah?
Yeah, and that's when you start. So the garlic, I'm just going to cut that in half. And again, I'm just going to shred that nicely finely.
How many guys work in the kitchen? I mean, you were telling me before you've done a huge amount of covers already today.
Yep.
Chesterfield. How many covers have you done so far?
At the moment, there's still, sorry, covers today, we've done, I think we just touched 100 when I left at 3 o'clock.
When you get back there, they're going to be saying, Gareth, where the hell have you been?
That's if they're all still there, yeah.
Right. How many in the kitchen to get through those sort of covers?
We've run, on a Saturday and Sunday, we run 6 to 7 chefs. We've got a team of 8.
Problems getting hold of
On again now.
They're quite easy to get hold of. It's just keeping them when you get hold of them. There's loads and loads of them out there. But the team I've got are really good. Most of them.
in a very short space of time, so that's quite a few things to say.
Yeah.
Done a few times.
Quite a few of them have been there since the beginning. The sous chefs obviously been there since the beginning. I'm just going to show you this. So all I've done is I've shredded the garlic.
Yeah.
I've sprinkled some salt on.
Yeah.
And what the salt does, the salt starts killing the garlic. It affects the garlic.
Yeah.
So you can literally do that and you get a really fine puree. Best thing to do is I haven't left
Using
it.
the edge of the knife.
Yeah, so I'm just scraping the garlic. Best thing to do is to salt it and leave it for about 2 or 3 minutes. Just let the salt get into the garlic. And you get a really nice puree.
Reggie, I want you to have a go at this when you get home tonight. Okay? I want to see the results. You can put it on Twitter for me. I want to see the loss of fingers and also the fine paste.
You'll probably tell Gail how to do it. So, a little bit of oil. It's just normal olive oil. Pop the shallots in. Pop the garlic in. Just swap that over. So now we're going to get our rice. This is a boring rice I use for risottos. There's lots of different types. What I find the risotto, type of risottos I make.
This is a fairly small grain rice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good to cook with.
You put no stock in there yet or anything?
No stock, no stock. So what we're going to do now, we're just going to probably add a tiny little touch of oil. And we just, as I said before, we just sweat the rice now. So it starts to look a little bit translucent. Yeah, you could cook that with fish stock or chicken stock, and you'd never really be able to tell the
Because
difference.
of the flavours that you put in there.
That's it, that's it. But I think it'd have to be really, well, I think Marco and Pierre White.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. And the
What's he going to cook for?
the Pierre Kaufman's trotters, which is one of his famous dishes at the time at Harvey's, which big influence for me when I started cooking was the book Like Heat. So obviously I think that'd be a really nice. Risotto's on now, that's just going to simmer gently. So, good idea, well, the best way is to do risotto, a little bit of stock, a little bit of time, and just obviously just keep stirring it.
What's the stirring while you're doing it?
Just keeps it moving, stops the rice sticking on the bottom of the pan so it doesn't catch on the bottom of the pan. And also, to be a bit technical, I might be lying, but I think it releases the starches as well. The starches in the risotto. So, shredded 2 weeks, that's for a bit later on. We've got a smoked eel. So basically that's been skinned and the vertebrae took, the backbone's been took out. So I'm just going to check that for little pin bones. If you can just see there, they're just poking out the little pin bones. We'll take them out.
Hard to get hold of?
Not really hard to get hold of from a good fish supplier, but it's a lot more expensive than you'd think. It's not cheap at all, smoked eel, which I've always wondered why, really. I love smoked eel. I was a bit sceptical when I first put this dish on the menu whether people would go for it with it being smoked eel. But, you know, a lot of people have tried it, really liked it. I think with smoked eel, it's very, very similar to sort of smoke. The flavour with the smokiness is quite similar to bacon, and it's also quite a robust fleshy fish as well. So not at all, no, it stays nice and queued up.
Best selling dish on the menu at the moment, Chesterfield?
We do a chicken strip starter, really simple. It's a coriander and spring onions noodle salad with chicken strips cooked in sweet chilli. And that's been on since day one, and it just doesn't stop selling. Right, so fish. Basically what we're going to do, we've got a lovely piece of stone bass, otherwise known as May-Gray. So I filleted that, I've made some small little X's in the back. Basically that was helpful to cook it, make sure it cooks through evenly, and also get a nice crispy skin. A good tip when you're cooking fish with skin on is salt. Now don't season the flesh, because as soon as you season the flesh it will draw all the moisture out, your fish will be dry, it'll be no good. So just on the skin. So I've salted the skin, I'm going to pat it and then put it face down on a tray and leave that for 4 or 5 minutes. And what that does is, as it put on the flesh side, it draws the moisture out of the skin, and let's just get a really nice crispy piece of fish. All I'm going to do is cut the leek on an angle. I'm going to pop them in a pan. With, there we've got the wrong one, a little bit of stock. This is chicken stock again. And a little bit of butter. The idea is what you do, if we were doing this in the restaurant, we do this exactly as we're doing now, but we cook it before service.
Right, now everybody's got a fear of that, you know, you say to everybody, oh my God, we're eating fast and whatever. You guys, you cook it, it's ready for service. What happens after that? Why is it okay?
Well, one at a time thing, and what we do, we cook it, and then we chill really, really fast. Yeah. Right. So, anything with food like that, really, as long as you cook it really well, cook it as quickly as you possibly can, chill it down as possibly can, and if it's stored correctly, there'll be no problems. Now, with white rice, sort of basmati rice, we never recook that.
But it's okay to be out boiled.
And the boiled risotto rice is fine. So we'll do the minced tomatoes next. So we'll just move the leeks and the eel away for a minute.
Quite a lot of parts in this dish.
There's lots of little bits, but you know, again, in the actual, I'm doing this all from scratch today. In the restaurant, what I'm doing now, we'd have that ready in a pot. We'd have a pot with a diced eel, we'd have a pot with the blanched leeks, so everything would be ready to... sea bass or stone bass that we're doing today. As soon as the skin hits the pan, it will go like that.
Right.
That's what the fish just wants to do. So we put it in, nice hot pan. I'm just going to put my fingers on the top.
That's why you're holding it down.
Yeah, not too much pressure. Not too much pressure to stop it curling.
Yeah.
If you put too much pressure, what will happen is it'll try and curl, and it'll pull the skin in, so you'll lose a bit of the skin. So basically what we do now, we pop him in the pan on the heat, and we just leave him. So what we do, the way I check it is, you can just see it there.
Yes, it's starting to whiten.
Just starting to whiten.
Yeah.
When that's sort of over halfway, sort of 3/4 whitened, all we do then is turn it over another minute, and again it's really nice and thinly chopped some chives.
We've been open for some time now, Chesterfield. Since January time, I guess, somewhere around there. We're close to some time. We've got a new menu coming on?
Yeah, well, we're working on, we've just put out a sort of, say, call it an early spring menu now.
Right.
So the next menu will be the proper spring menu, so we'll have lots of nice stuff like peas and You know, that's my favourite time of the year really, when that sort of produce comes in. Yeah, definitely. Stuff like asparagus, you know, the only problem is we try and keep everything sort of really seasonal. So we have lots and lots of people coming and asking for frozen peas. This is probably me being a bit snobby, but we don't do frozen peas. Yeah. So the risotto's nearly there now. Yeah. We're just going to pop our leek and our smoked veal in there. Right. We'll add a little tiny touch of stock, just to loosen it. A tiny little bit of butter, 3 little cubes.
Now, looking at this fish, I'd be saying we're getting fairly close.
Yeah, I'll just give it a flip now, there it is. Yeah, hold on, just a little bit longer. We'll put the risotto back on the heat. We just add a little bit more stock, butter, the leek and the smoked veal. Pull off the side a little bit. So this mixture, this is some bush tomatoes. We do these ourselves in the restaurant. So literally just quarter the tomatoes.
These are the small tomatoes, or?
We use B grade. They usually, the reason we use B grade is not because there's nothing wrong with them, but they're usually overripe, so they're much better product.
What you're going to do with the tomatoes?
Yeah. Risotto, a little bit of parmesan.
Right. No risotto would be complete without a beautiful but expensive cheese.
Yeah, very expensive. Very expensive. And then, as I said before, just to finish it, just a little touch of cream.
Yeah. It's got some lovely colours to it, this dish, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's staying nice and green.
The red of the tomato. And
there as well.
so then what we'll do now, we'll lift the fish off for a second, so it doesn't overcook. In there. Then the little rondelles, we'll just pick them out one by one. 5 of them. Then we're going to pop.
Has to be an odd number, Gareth, yeah?
It does, it does. Pop a fish on the top. And then what I've done, I've brought these ready-made, wouldn't have had time to do them today. Really simple. Cherry tomatoes, cut them in half, slice of garlic on each tomato, a little bit of thyme, rock salt, olive oil, turn your oven, the lowest, let it go, pop them in about 5 hours, and just basically just dehydrates. So little cherry tomatoes, again we'll pop 5 of them around. And then just to be chefy, some little chive tips on the top, and there we go. Crunchy leek risotto, pan-fried stone bass, minced onion.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gareth Jones. Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you for coming today. I hope you had an enjoyable day here, and thank you for preparing fabulous dishes for us. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.